Finally tonight, 10 years ago, he was a club disc jockey hoping to make it big.
Well, now he's the top-rated nighttime radio voice in Hampton Roads. Our Monique Braxton tells us why so many people are tuning in.
My name is Phil Nelson, your host until 12 midnight with all your favorites. Kick back and relax on 94 FM.
He's Hampton Road's #1 nighttime caller, and for 6 years, Phil Nelson has captivated adults with his mellow mix of easy listening music.
While the other radio stations are bumping and jamming, I give you a different approach.
And his approach is catching on. During his Friday night dedication party, Nelson averages more than 30 calls an hour.
The station gives you the best variety of hits and oldies.
94 WMYK with sexy Phil Nelson.
But his most memorable call came from a serviceman overseas. So what did he say?
Phil, I'm picking you up. I'm in Naples, Italy. I said, I don't believe it.
The Newport News native recently left 103 Jams to come here to WMYK. In 3 months, the station's share of the nighttime audience has increased drastically. Nelson attributes his success to special treatment.
My mother always told me, son, remain meek and treat people the way you want to be treated.
On occasion, he's prevented some from committing suicide following disappointing relationships. But creating a relaxing mood is what he does best.
The best variety of hits and oldies. WMYK 94 FM on a class of 1971 weekend.
Monique Braxton, Wavy News 10.
Nice.
So that's what he looks like.
That's what he looks like. That's right. That's going to wrap things up for us this Friday night. Join Les Smith and Carolyn Anderson for all the weekend news.
And we'll see you right back here on Monday.
See you later. Bye-bye.
It is time for today's Community Connection. From entertainers to educators, bankers to builders, inventors to innovators, men of color have been phenomenal role models and leaders around the world for years.
Since 2013, the Black Men Rock Image Awards has honored over 350 black men who made a major impact in the community at large. Here are the details in the 11th annual event in today's Community Connection. I'm joined by Latrice Carter with all we need to know about the 11th annual Black Men Rock Image Awards and Scholarship Ball. It's a big deal, really exciting stuff. Latrice, thanks so much for joining us on HRS.
Thank you for having me.
11 years. What can people expect from this year?
This year, we have a Roaring 20s theme. I like to have themed events. It makes it a little more fun and spectacular. And there's going to be some amazing soul food, music, photographers, paparazzi all around. So come glammed up for your pictures to be taken. And we're also going to be awarding some phenomenal Black men from all across Hampton Roads and beyond with Black Men Rock Image Awards for their excellent service to the community. We have some teachers, mentors who are being honored this year, entrepreneurs, and some living legends right here from Hampton Roads.
Talk about some of those living legends. There are some pretty phenomenal people that are going to be honored.
Yes, Dr. Phil Nelson, who most people will remember as the Quiet Storm from 103 Jams, and then he moved on to DC and continued the Quiet Storm there as well.
And we thank you for tuning in tonight. I have a special guest all the way from Washington, DC. That is on tonight, none other than Mr. Phil Nelson.
Hey, what's up, Cassandra?
Awesome. Great to see you again.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I mean, it just seemed like we did in Atlanta. That was absolutely great.
Yes,
it was great meeting you, and of course, all the festivities that went along with it. Yes.
I'm just excited to have you here tonight to talk a little bit about your book, talk a little bit about yourself. I noticed that you have a radio show yourself or talk show, whatever you do. And there are a lot of things that you have done down through the years that should be remembered because you work with R&B and gospel as far as you're working with gospel now. But you have worked with several legends down through the years, so it's a kind of full circle for you. It looks like, but tell the people a little bit more about you, where you're from, what you actually do. First of all, let the listeners hear who you are, Mr. Phil Nelson.
Okay. Well, for those that don't know me, first let me give a shout out to the Washington, D.C., Maryland area. That's where I am now. But of course, hey, I got to also give a shout out to Norfolk and Virginia Beach and my hometown of Newport News, Virginia, Warwick High School. I got to give props. And of course, Virginia State University, that's my old stomping ground. So, you know, I'm kind of rich in the HBCU category because, you know, I worked at Howard University at WHUR. That's where I did the Quiet Storm in part, along with my overnights and some gospel. And also Praise 104.1 in Washington, D.C., where I spent weekends doing gospel too as well. So I have a very extensive radio background. It's been 40 years. Can you believe that? But then radio just came into play, you know, that sort of thing. I said, maybe I can do that. So I got a lucky opening. I'm going to talk about that in the book. I won't go into details. But in 1984, I got my start in radio doing the Master Mix Dance Party. And eventually became the Quiet Storm host for Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and Newport News. And I really didn't want that shift because I knew I wasn't going to be known for my music in the streets, you know, club jock, you know, that sort of thing. But it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to my career. And I ended up holding on to that position for 20 years. And it was a wonderful run. Show stayed at #1. Overall, the love, dance, and romance format has been very, very good for me. And then I went to Washington, D.C. to WHUR, and that's the home of the Quiet Storm. And Washington, D.C. is very, very, very proud of their Quiet Storm heritage. And I feel very privileged to have been a part of that, you know, for 8 years while I was there. And I also did gospel overnight, actually before Steve Harvey came on in the morning. So I did 2 hours of gospel. And then I went on to Praise 104.1 in Washington for a little while before COVID and did gospel there. So that's pretty much my radio history. But I still continue on doing my own business. My own business is Nelson Media and Investments, LLC, but I can be reached at nelsonmediainvestments.com. And what that is voiceover services. In other words, if you go to my website, you see the different services that I offer and the different ways that I do it. So if you ever want to do some voice services and you want a new voice guy, I'm the man to do it.
I tell you what, I am excited tonight. Thank you for coming, tuning in, and thank you guys for coming back to finish this great conversation on tonight. Listen, my guest right here is Mr. Phil Nelson, all the way from Washington, D.C. We thank him for being a part of our show tonight. We met this past about 2 weeks ago in Atlanta, Georgia. They're at the 2023 Spin Awards. Now, let's get to this book. Let's talk a little bit about the book and what inspired the book.
Okay, well, it's going to be 23 chapters, and it's about a book of life. And the reason why I say a book of life, it starts with my life, but I want you to see the reflection of yourself in my life through circumstance. So the name of the book is called In the Eye of the Storm, The Quiet Storm, Peace Be Still. And it's a combination of my show that I did for so long, The Quiet Storm, was very successful for me, and the storms of life, you know, being in the eye of the foolishness and in the eye of all of the drama. And the peace be still is the end game, which is pretty much the redemption. So when you go through those 23 chapters of my life, starting from a baby all the way until now, you may see a reflection of your life in me and giving you an opportunity for choices. Because a lot of the times when people go through things, they rely on themselves to get themselves through the storm. But God says, if you rely on me, take yourself out of the equation, trust me, I will get you through any and everything that you go through. It may not look the way that you want it to look, but if you trust me, I will get you through it. And I will leave it at that, because there's so much in those 23 chapters that speaks to that reference. And I think people will enjoy the content of it, the way it's written, the way it's wrapped. You know, I'm not talking about necessarily the physical aspect, but what is wrapped in the word, along with the fact of the experience. So yeah, I think it's going to be a marvelous piece of work. I'm not saying that because I'm writing it, but I'm saying it because of the fact of what it stands for. And I'm pretty excited about it.
And again, please tell the people when your book is coming out.
But the book, there hasn't been a determined release date on the finalization of the book yet, because the picture book is the pre-sales. Once I get a determination date, everything's taken care of. I would love to be able to come back on your show and give the listeners some more information, but it probably will be released on all digital platforms. There will be more than likely some book signings throughout the country, but I would love to come back and tell
Houston,
the listeners.
come on, Houston, come on, Houston. Bring it on, bring it on.
There you go. Look, like you said in Atlanta, we're gonna take that thing and move it around.
Come on, let's move it around. Let's move it around. Move it around. We can get it all over everywhere.
Here on the Red Carpet in Atlanta, GA Nelson, MediaAnalFestivals.com. And right now I have with me
Bobby Parker of the Bobby Parker Radio Show, syndicated all over the country. I've been honored tonight with the Radio Hall of Fame.
What's up? Where are my College School people in the house? I mean, where are my meals from the school? So there's a reason why you said it. You gotta sing the song for the one time. Come on. What? Oh my God, it sounds good, huh? Come on, y'all.
I'll give you the words. I'll put the people in place. I'll send you to that place where you will shine. I'll send you to those places that you've never been before. The actual talents that you have mean absolutely nothing, because I'm going to put you in a different place. I just had to see that for myself, because I was blinded. I didn't know, I just walked. And here today I stand as a chairman and president of the HRBRAA, representing the Hampton Roads radio broadcasters of this area. We're doing 50 to 70 years of broadcasters. We're going back beyond Daddy Jack Holmes, yes, Harris Ely, Calvin Shakespeare, Bobby J. We're going all the way back. I mean, we are going back to 1947, where we had Harry S. Truman and Eisenhower, who signed the Civil Rights Act, that enabled Black Americans to not only advance in those areas that they wanted to, but also for Black radio. And that's what the Slogan Library is about. We have that on display in Norfolk until the 31st. If you guys haven't had a chance to get over there and see that, I do urge you to get over there between now and the 31st and see the history. And the history continues on. I just feel if I can't give you a check, I can give you some acknowledgement.
There you go.
I can create a legacy for you and your family.
All right. Like I said, this feels absolutely wonderful. I have never had anything like this happen to me, just the experience alone. Woo! It tickles too. It's not enough to make me laugh, but just enough to make me smile. You know, give me that little grin, that fishy grin. Wow. Talking about something that felt great. Fish! A whole new respect for fish, man. Give me that fish. Give me that fillet of fish. You saw exactly what I was going through down at the fish spot. But right now, we are back at the hotel, and this is the final day here in Singapore. And I'm kind of sad, actually, because I've grown an attachment to the city. I'm sorry, I just had to go there. But really, I have enjoyed the city, the hospitality, the people. Once again, the highlight of my whole trip, I could actually say, was the fish spa, amongst all the beautiful things that surround in this fabulous city. Of course, 3 days is not long enough to go through what this city actually beholds. I mean, as you look across beautiful downtown Singapore, and of course, as you can see in the background, this is just a small segment of what Singapore has as well. But I have to come back for sure. Maybe bring the kids, because this is one of those experiences that you will definitely want your children and your family to experience as well. But, as for Singapore, this is going to do it for me. Phil Nelson, 96.3 WHUR. But now, part two. Part two, we are on our way to Indonesia, the beautiful country of Indonesia. We're getting ready to board the flight in about 30 minutes or so. Bali, that's right, in Bali. I forgot the name of the hotel, but I'll let you know once we get there. And of course, we have footage to continue to roll. And man, like I said, I wish you were here, but through the beauty of technology, I got you. This is Phil from Singapore. See ya.
You know, we're at the Washington, D.C. Zoo. I haven't been to the zoo in centuries. And when I say centuries, it was a field trip. An elementary school field trip, you know? So, this is going to be interesting here because of the fact we're getting ready to go see the pandas, okay? The pandas. So, come on, let's check out the zoo today. Just you and I, and of course all the great footage. Come on, let's go.
It is time for today's Community Connection. Celebrating the legacy and influence of Black radio here in our region is the mission of the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association. This includes a Black Radio Hall of Fame. Here's today's Community Connection.
And this is Dr. Phil Nelson, founder of the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association. Phil, welcome to the Hampton Roads Show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations on your organization, something new for Hampton Roads. Tell us about HRBRAA.
Well, the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association was formed a little over a year ago, pretty much to preserve the legacy and the history, to give acknowledgement and recognition to the radio announcers that ever blessed the microphone in the Hampton Roads area. Now, my focus is to focus pretty much on 50 years of broadcasting, where it all began and how it got to where we are. But we're focusing on 50 years of radio broadcasters in the area, where it started and where it is now.
Take me back 50 years ago. Take the audience back, because it has been a struggle for a Black person to get the voice out on the radio.
That is correct. Now, Black radio started in 1947 under President Harry Truman. He was the very first person, or very first president, I should say, to ever speak to the NAACP. But in Hampton Roads, it was Daddy Jack Holmes, who is pinned to be the first broadcaster in Hampton Roads back in the 50s. So, and it wasn't until 1974, if memory serves me well, that Bishop L.E. Willis Sr. acquired several radio stations, whom he began to be the nation's largest Black-owned radio station, largest Black-owned radio company in the nation at that particular point in time.
So, like as you mentioned, Phil, this is a relatively new organization, your association, but you've already recognized some of the pioneers in your industry locally with your Wall of Fame induction that you had back in April. Can you tell us about that and what are the plans for the future?
Well, the Wall of Fame that we started back in April, actually, it was before then. We only inducted 7, and then we came back and inducted 17. Now, we're not able to do them all at one time. I mean, there's others that will be inducted as we go forward into the future. just like coming up at the Slover Library on the 3rd, I do believe that's this Saturday coming up, we will be inducting 26 more. And we have a 4-tier exhibit that we've been able to put together that the Slover Library is giving us grace to be able to be on 3 floors. And it's 106 personalities, and that's dealing with music and media. It's also dealing with the dignitaries that I was speaking about, and also the Wall of Fame for the radio broadcasters that have been in the area. And as I mentioned earlier, this is the first time that this has ever happened. And as for me, a 20-year veteran of being on the air in Hampton Roads, I started my career in '84 and left in 2004 to come to Washington, D.C. I am honored to be able to do this, to spearhead this, and to be an advocate for my coworkers and for the people that's going to come and come behind me to be able to be inducted as we continue on into this journey.
Well, something tells me we're going to be hearing much more from your organization, and that you have lots of plans for the future. Until then, Dr. Phil Nelson with the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association, thank you for taking the time, and thank you for joining us here on HRS.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always been a pleasure. Look forward to coming back.
And as you can tell, those who are inducted into the Hall of Fame get the gold jacket. And you can find out more about the Hampton Roads Black Radio Announcers Association and its Hall of Fame by going to nbrhof.com/Hampton-Virginia-Chapel.
Where did you come from?
I'm Phil Nelson, former Quiet Storm host and owner of Nelson Media and Investments, LLC. The first time I got a chance to actually run into MC Spice was back into the mid-'80s to late '80s. Yeah, that was the right time. And it was at radio station WOWI, 103 Jams in Norfolk, Virginia. I had already been in radio at that time, maybe about 5-6 years. I was still young in the business. And this guy, he came through. He was currently married to our midday host at the time, Candy Eastman. And I said, this guy's unique, man. I said, he was rough and raw around the edges. He was hungry. I said, where's this guy from? I said, Boston. I didn't know Boston, had rappers. It was all about New York City, Brooklyn, Bronx. You had your Heavy D's, your Big Daddy Kings, your Public Enemies, your KRS-One, and Boogie Down Productions. But when I heard his lyrics, man, I heard him spitting that fire, man, I was like, man, I said, you got something going on there. I said, I'm going to put you in the same category around a PE, Public Enemy, or Boogie Down Productions. I didn't know Boston had it going on like that, but you know what? I learned that day. He put Boston on the map for sure. That's MC Spice.
The most anticipated documentary in Boston history, strictly hip-hop, The MC Spice Story, an Al McFarlane film.